This may look like an indoor rock concert, but take a closer look. It's an evangelical church service. This man is a converted gang leader. And this is the pastor who helped save him.
Gracias. Amén. Mira a tu hermano que está a la par y dile, todos podemos ser como Jesús. Bendícenos a causa de ello, por favor, y en el nombre de Jesús.
The pastor has led a successful program to lure gang members away from a life of violence that has rocked Guatemalan society. The homicide rate in some Central American countries is nearly as high as the casualty rate during the conflicts that ravaged the region during the 1970s and 80s. Today, gangs are key players in deadly extortion rings. The police have created special anti-gang units like this one to fight them.
Yo voy para el operativo con el oficial.
From storefront operations like this to the so-called City of God still under construction on the outskirts of the capital, the Evangelical Church is increasingly influential.
We're going to a little town, well, sort of a growing town that had a real problem with gangs about 5 to 8 years ago. And a pastor of a fairly large church in that community, a young pastor about 8 years ago, with the leadership of that congregation, decided to get involved in gang ministry as a way of trying to do something about the violence that was affecting a lot of the people in their church. And so they started working with gang members and eventually with some gang leaders, evangelizing them, trying to get them into the church and out of the gang.
Brenneman's book on God and gangs in Central America examines the role of pastors like this one in coping with violence in the region. He's returned as part of American University's project on religious responses to violence.
Que estaban en la cárcel.
¿Y cuando salieron?
Cuando salieron, ellos vinieron a querer establecer nuevamente las pandillas, y la misión que ellos tomaron, estando todavía en el penal, fue asesinar a todos los más fuertes pandilleros que teníamos nosotros, incluyendo a mí.
¿Y no ha habido una segunda generación de pandilleros?
No, gracias a Dios, otras áreas que las tenemos como atractivo para jóvenes que en vez de estar perdiendo su tiempo o vagando, como decimos en Guatemala, vengan a este lugar a ocupar su tiempo en algo positivo.
Like many other evangelical pastors, he's a humanitarian. He talks about the Bible and is very spiritual and is religious to the core in his language, in his lifestyle, in his sermons. But he's also a humanitarian. He cares about his community. He cares about the people in his congregation, and he hates to see them suffering.
In his book, Brenneman argues that one of the key assets of evangelical churches is the ability to build and to harness the emotional energy of their participants. Large or small, they know how to fire up their members. And for millions of Guatemalans, including ex-gang members, such powerful worship is deeply satisfying, even inspiring. This is Bill Gentile reporting.